This is MTV, Nevis Television.
Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Wednesday, August 11th, 2010. I'm Bronte Swanston-Hendrickson. In our top stories, Premier Parry tells Nevisians they need not fear the VAT, and Nevision residents and returning nationals shower praise on work of the government. Stay with us. The details are straight ahead. Nevisians need not fear the value-added tax, VAT. This assurance was given by Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Joseph Parry, in an interview with host Walter Morton on Choice FM's Breakfast Menu on Tuesday.
It is not a new tax. It replaces a consumption tax. That's what it does. There are certain items that are exempted from taxation and certain items that attract zero taxation. You will find most of these items are like basic foods, regular staple items, so that you'll take away the pressure from the lower income consumer. I think that consideration is being given to businessmen too, because you will need time to change over from one system to a new system of tax collection. So all those matters are being considered.
Mr. Parry responded to opposition criticisms about the introduction of the VAT.
We were in opposition for 14 years, and we really didn't have the kind of racket in Nevis that we have now, and we did not seek to divide people or to mislead people as is happening now. You know, there's the introduction of new kind of politics, which is not healthy. Sometimes people really don't think. This is a small island. This is an emerging nation. We don't need the American-type politics. Like this morning I was listening, and they're making a big issue of Michelle Obama going to Spain with her daughter. She shouldn't have gone to Spain, they say, in such hard economic times. You know, I wonder when for the last 12 years they were borrowing from China and eating what they didn't work for. Did they understand that the consequences will catch up with them? Or it is just they're looking for a scapegoat? Or it's just that the media really is not doing its work? Wouldn't it be better? First of all, she's the wife of the president, not the president. Nobody voted for her. Secondly, she has young children. I think they need to see different places. And the stress that they are undergoing, they need to have a holiday. You know, well, it's the same kind of behavior we seem to have here on the island of Nevis, where you make an issue where there is no issue. You try to create outrage where there is no need for outrage. And you try to bamboozle and confuse people.
Premier Parry explained how the level of 17% value-added tax was arrived at.
There was a consultant, one or two consultants, who came in. One of these consultants was a lady from Dominica who had been part of the Dominica implementation. And then there were one or other two persons working with her. And then you had a team from Nevis and a team from St. Kitts working with them. And they did their studies, and they did their calculations of gross domestic product, St. Kitts and Nevis. They tried to look at the impact, and the intention was to make sure that it did not really cause the cost of living to go up. And they arrived at the figure of 17%. The 17% was recommended a long time ago. And when I heard the 19%, it was news to me. I'm not in a position to comment on it because it was not something that I debated or was part of any debate. It was always 17%. That is what I knew. When we had our joint cabinet meetings, we knew it was 17%. So when I heard it was 19%, I said very little.
That was Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Joseph Parry. Nevision leader and Premier, the Honorable Joseph Parry, has been talking about the work of his government since returning to office on July 10, 2006. In a recent interview with the Nevis newscast, Premier Parry highlighted a few of the achievements.
We have had our 4th anniversary, just the 10th of July, and we have been looking at all the achievements that have taken place during those 4 years under the Nevis Reformation Party. And of course, we were celebrating with Willett the renaming of the Grove Park to El Comida Willett Park.
Premier Parry described the renaming of the island's premier sporting facility as a major achievement and milestone for his administration.
Basically because everybody accepted that in 1970 or the early 1970s, Willett simply, with his youthfulness, his verve and cricketing ability, was able to bring new hope and a spirit of rebirth to the people of Nevis that eventually blossomed into active politics, culture, education, and helped to shape the face of Nevis today. I think every person on island was pleased. It was a great celebration and a great afternoon just before Culture Armour. I think that opened the way for the celebrations.
In related news, many persons have publicly endorsed the work of the Joseph Parry-led Nevis Island administration. Tonight, we hear from some of the returning Nevision nationals and visitors, as well as residents, as they expressed their thoughts on Nevis under the Nevis Reformation Party-led administration.
Government is running the country good. I've seen improvement in the island. So I will say, and I guess it's all because of the government, so I will say the government is doing a good job. I am for the Nevis, my country, and when I see improvement, I must say there is an improvement.
Yeah, man, Nevis has developed from the last time I was here. The shoreline is very good, the buildings, the streets, everything is very beautiful, man. Nevis is nice.
In terms of tourism, in terms of the infrastructure, like the road networks and businesses, it is an overall development, especially local development.
We've been here, we see the roads being done and so forth.
Well, it looks good and we thought it would be good, so far so good.
Nevis is always lovely.
Great, I love it. I love the culture. I think, you know, once you go Nevis, I'm never going to go back to the States.
It's beautiful.
I live in England, but I'm a Nevisian at heart. Nevis is beautiful for everything. The people, sea, just the island itself.
Best place in the world.
I see that you guys are making improvements, so I can recognize them.
So I think the government needs to be commended for their efforts based on the lagging economy all around the world. And so, you know, I think they have been very significant.
Well, the best it has ever been since I know myself. Been around politics in 1970, after the sinking of Christina. The best life we ever have is now.
Haven't you seen the roads, the hospital? There's so much, yeah.
Even though the economy is down, very much so, but yet still, our leader is doing the very, very best that they can do.
Those were some of the comments on the work of the Nevis Island administration from some of the visitors, returning nationals and residents as they expressed their thoughts on the work of the government over the past 4 years.